So just imagine what it would be like to design the perfect fishing pond or fishing lake. What would you put in it? What exactly would you do or to create what you would consider to be the perfect fishing pond or the first perfect fishing lake? You can do this. You can, if you are going to build a pond, you have the option of designing it, of having it professionally designed and engineered. I'm told that an awful lot of pond owners prefer to just basically go with what they call the old fishbowl approach, where they just dig a hole, get everything out of it, and fill it with water and go from there. You can do that, of course, but how much more effective do you think it is to actually design a pond or a lake from scratch to basically have specific kinds of habitats that you either know or think that fish like? You know, for instance, old riverbeds, which this is not one, but it's designed to be like one. You know, steep inclines. How about horizontal trees going across the old riverbed? What about vegetation? What about flat spawning areas like this with artificial habitat thrown in there just for good measure? What about gravel beds? Rock piles? Your imagination is the limit of what you could actually design here, not to mention perhaps your pocketbook, of course. This is a much larger lake than any of us are likely to ever get to design. It's about going to be 140 acres once it's fully flooded. But the person that designed and constructed this lake was a master. And look at that hump that's right there. Can you imagine the fish that'll stack up on that hump? And then you have that nice vertical cut right there that is going to be like what an old riverbed would be like if you had one in this pond. Log piles, log jams. Can you imagine? So, you know, it's fun to think about, even if none of us will ever get to do it. One of the things too is that, you know, how do you like to fish? Do you like to fish topwaters? Do you like to fish spinnerbaits? Do you like to fish plastic worms? Do you like to fish active? Do you like to fish finesse? Honestly, a lot of times the way fish react to our lures, or the best way to catch fish, is dictated by the habitat. You can imagine if the water's clear and there's not a lot of stuff in the water, you know, then something like a plastic worm is probably your best bet. But if there's a lot of cover and fish are spread out, something like a buzzbait or a spinnerbait probably works better, or a crankbait, something active. So you can, if you prefer fishing a specific way, you can literally design the habitat in the lake to create a fishery where how you like to fish is the best way to fish. Isn't that interesting to think about? So, if you were going to design your own lake, if you were going to design your own pond, or if you could just magically say, I want this kind of habitat, what would you put in it? What would be your preferred habitat types to have in a lake or a pond? Something to think about.